Let me say this plainly because I am seeing it constantly at the moment. If AI is doing the thinking in your essay, your mark is already capped. And not because using AI is cheating necessarily, and not because markers are anti-technology per se, but because AI, when misused, produces structurally empty work. It's fluent, yeah, it's really polished, but it's completely uncommitted. And yes, markers can usually tell, often very quickly. So in this video, I want to explain why AI can't rescue a very weak essay, how markers spot it, and exactly how you can use AI without quietly hollowing out your work. Oh, I just did like a million sneezes, sorry. Oh God, where was I? Okay. Over the past year or so, essays haven't become worse. If anything, they've actually become a lot smoother. All the sentences flow really nicely and the vocabulary is elevated. Sounds good, you know, academic. But the argument doesn't move. So paragraphs arrive, they say something broadly reasonable, they give a rate, you know, detailed description of something, they gesture vaguely at a debate, and then they just leave again without having done any of the real work.
Bye bye.
Nothing is risked because nothing has actually been decided. If the essay that AI produces were a person, I mean, it would be like a romantic partner who just agrees with everything and commits to absolutely nothing, and somehow you end up still doing all of the work. I'm not speaking from experience, of course. That's not a relationship with a future. This isn't a language issue, you know, where you fix a few of the verbs or add an opinion and have done with it. It's a thinking issue. And using AI actually makes it harder to see the problem, not easier to fix. This is where students misjudge the situation. Markers are not sat there asking, is this fluent? Is this impressive? Oh, does this sound academic? Because AI definitely does all of those things. Markers instead are asking, what is this student arguing? What have they chosen to focus on? Why this line of argument and not another? So basically, markers are reading for decision making, and that's a human prerogative. AI does not decide, it just averages. It takes the middle ground, it's safe. And average thinking is safe, reasonable, but inert. And that is why students say, but yeah, it sounds good though. Yeah, it does. And that's a warning sign. Let me give you a real example. I worked with a student writing a thesis in her second language, and she was really thoughtful, she was capable, but understandably anxious about sounding academic enough. So she used ChatGPT to level up her English, a platform I'm sure you're all, you'll have heard of and probably used, unless you've been living under a technology-free rock. She put her entire thesis in there, section by section, and told ChatGPT to improve her work. And what came back was really fluent, and she was delighted, but less so when it failed. And why did it fail? Because the language no longer matched the thinking. And in places, the thinking wasn't even there. It was just generic and mostly descriptive. Her supervisors flagged it immediately. First with instinct, they knew it wasn't her work, but also with detection software, which, let me tell you, is getting pretty good at picking up AI. The phrasing was generic, the register overshot the ideas, and the argument just felt oddly detached from the rest of her work. In the end, she just had to simplify. Shorter sentences, clearer claims, less ornamentation. She had to sound like herself again. She found that almost impossible. How do you dumb down what sounds beautifully written? She even tried using AI to humanize her work in desperation. Have you seen those? Humanizer AI platforms? They're hilarious. They just riddle it with mistakes. They make the English barely legible. I mean, AI clearly thinks as humans are so dumb, it was insulting. So this is where I stepped in to help her, stripping back the ornamental English to get to the bare bones of the argument and then rebuilding together from there. It was no small task. It was an entire thesis. That's massive. But in the end, that's what fixed it. If you've ever thought, well, I used AI and nothing it churned out was wrong, so why did my writing feel flat? This next section explains why. Stay with me. I want to preface this by saying I am not anti-AI. Used properly, AI is amazing and it's here to stay. So yeah, we totally have to get on board with it. But used improperly, and by that I mean used to replace human thinking, the human voice, or relied on to improve things that you know that you should do yourself, but you want a shortcut because you're just feeling a bit lazy or really time pressured, as we all are. Used improperly like that, AI can and will quietly sabotage your work and get you in trouble big time. There are three main ways I see AI doing this. Firstly, when AI is used way too early, before you've even chosen a line of argument. The result is descriptive writing, over-contextualization, no clear position. Here, AI fills the space where thinking should have happened. That is just a big no. Secondly, when AI is used to fill paragraphs. So the paragraph exists, but it has no real job. If you deleted it, nothing in the argument would change. That is structural dead weight, and it's something I bang on about in my video that walks through how you can write a first-class paragraph. Check it out somewhere. Finally, when AI is used to sound academic, so the essay gains polish but loses voice. It's like style over substance. Marcus noticed the mismatch between the language and the analytical moves and the student's usual level. It's like suddenly dating someone who speaks entirely in therapy language. It's technically impressive, but just emotionally vacant, because like therapists, it really just never gives anything away about yourself. In all three cases, the problem is the same. AI is stepping in at the exact moment you're supposed to be deciding what you think. It is smoothing over uncertainty instead of forcing you to resolve it, and giving fluency in place of clarity, and offering sentences before you have made a choice. Naughty AI. Let's just call it out. Markers don't rely on AI detection tools in the way that students might imagine. Yes, there are all these tools like Turnitin and a million others, which pick up AI instantly. But markers can quickly spot arguments that never sharpen or land, endless hedging without the payoff, and citations with no clear function. And some might not even be real because AI just often makes them up. They also spot language that just floats above ideas instead of, properly expressing them. It's like there's no meat. And there's also the continuity problem. Earlier work sounds like a student, and later work that suddenly sounds like a journal abstract. Well, that jump is obvious. As for detection software, yes, institutions do use it. No, it's not perfectly reliable, but this is almost beside the point. Markers don't need software to spot structural emptiness. They're trained to detect it. Argument, selection, and judgment. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most students using AI are not trying to cheat. They're trying to escape uncertainty. Maybe they don't even know what they think. They just want to be told because, they haven't done enough reading or research, or maybe they just don't care. In this case, you can still weigh up the evidence or ideas and take a position and argue it clearly, even if it's not one that you actually feel that strongly about. Do that first and then use AI. Here's how. This matters. AI is not forbidden. It's just badly timed. Here is when AI can help without completely sabotaging your essay. After you've chosen an argument, AI can check the clarity, identify any ambiguity, and help you see where a paragraph isn't landing. So you give it your thinking, you just brain dump your ideas, and it can provide the prompts to sharpen it. That is smart. After you've written a draft, AI can tighten phrasing, reduce repetition, or compress really long sentences. This is editing, not generation. But be really wary of using it throughout your essay, because AI-generated English, even if the ideas are yours, is often detected, and some universities will just fail an essay for it. I'm thinking of my student who had to dumb down her English in her entire thesis again after trying to level up her English with AI. The only reason they knew that the ideas in her thesis were hers was because of all the conversations that she'd had with her supervisors before then, and all the insightful ideas she'd brought to supervision. So they knew it was her ideas and her content, but just AI executed. Overusing AI to improve your English fluency can make some markers think that you've used it for content generation too, so use it sparingly for this. After you're clear on structure, AI can help you to rephrase without changing meaning, and spot where transitions are missing, so often with that signposting that we need to do, and flag sentences that don't connect to the claim. So rule of thumb, AI can respond to thinking, but it cannot replace it, and it should not. If ChatGPT is leading the argument, you are not the author. If it is deciding what you think, you have skipped the hardest part of the work, which might have been why you used AI in the first place. But you're going to get caught. Don't do it. AI should not choose your argument, decide what matters, write paragraphs from nothing, replace uncertainty with fluency. If you don't know what you think yet, that's okay. That is the work. And outsourcing that stage is how essays lose their voice. Poof, just gone. I know using AI feels tempting when you're overloaded, you're tired, you're working with limited time, you don't even know where to start. I know so many people don't use it just because they're lazy. They're cognitively overloaded. And AI does offer relief, but it's the wrong kind. It's short-term ease, but long-term stress. What actually helps is not more effort. It's earlier decisions, clearer structure, externalizing your thinking, getting it out, and containing the work so it stops spilling everywhere. But let's make that usable. Here's what that actually looks like. Firstly, make the decision before you write. Before you open a blank document, open something that lets you think without performing. And that could be a notes app, a blank Google Doc titled Messy Thinking, or a Notion page with 3 headings, or just a simple pen and paper. Answer this: if I had to argue one thing here, what would it be? Not perfectly, not academically, just choose, even if it's really clumsy. This theory is useful but overextended in modern contexts. That single sentence, however messily or clumsily executed, reduces decision density massively. Now that is the essay spine. AI can't do this part for you. It doesn't know what you care about. Secondly, build a skeleton before you build sentences. Instead of writing paragraphs, create a structure first. In Notion or a document, write introduction, what I'm arguing. Section 1, why this theory or topic matters. Section 2, where it fails. Section 3, why that failure matters. And conclusion, what this changes. 5 lines, no prose, you've just reduced cognitive load by half. Now when you're sitting down to write, you're filling pre-planned containers. You're not inventing different shapes. That's containment. Thirdly, externalize all the open tabs. If your brain is like mine, it feels busy a lot. And that is usually because you're holding too many half-formed thoughts. So do this. Open a document called Things I Am Not Deciding Today. List everything that's floating around in your head. Maybe I should include X theory. I'm not sure about this source. This paragraph might be wrong. I need to check this citation. It might not exist. I don't know. Now it's parked. Your brain stops trying to juggle it. That is load management. Fourthly, use AI as a structural assistant, not a writer. You can paste your argument in ChatGPT and ask, where does this argument look vague? Which section feels least connected to the main claim? If you could summarize this structure in one sentence, what is the core argument? What you don't do is say, write section 2 for me, because then you've just outsourced all that decision-making stage, the all-important thinking. Another useful use, paste your paragraph and ask, highlight the sentence that makes the main claim. And if it can't find one clearly, you can use this information to sharpen the thinking. So you stay in control, but AI becomes this diagnostic mirror. Fifthly, contain the session. Instead of, I'm working on my essay tonight, vague, broad, never-ending, say, for 25 minutes, I am checking whether each paragraph earns its place. It's one job, one boundary, stop when that job is done. This means that you start associating work with containment, not chaos, just unending sprawl, which can help anxiety drop. Winner. Structure reduces anxiety because it removes ambiguity. Clarity reduces cognitive load because it removes unnecessary or excess decisions. AI sounds like it offers instant clarity, I know, but it's borrowed clarity, and borrowed clarity just doesn't stand up under scrutiny, and markers are gonna scrutinize. Students aren't losing marks or simply failing because they're using AI. They're losing marks because they're using it at the wrong stage. AI can polish, but it cannot commit. And essays that don't commit just don't score highly, or they fail. If AI feels tempting at the start, that's a signal. Not that you're lazy, not that you're incapable. It's a signal that a decision hasn't yet been made. The thinking just needs containment, not outsourcing. Make the decision first, get the structure down, let it be messy, then polish. When the judgment is yours, the language will just naturally follow. in your voice at the right level with arguments that actually earn their place.